You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I got something to talk to you about regarding two of the biggest villains roaming around Port Charles right now. That is Esme Prince and Cyrus Renault. We've already seen some hints that these two may wind up in a storyline together, and now I suspect they might even wind up working together. Let's talk about it, but first, please click subscribe if you haven't. Now let's dig in. So, you guys might remember Cyrus Renault seems to have a fixation on little Ace Cassadine because, to be fair, the kid is family. He is Ace's great uncle because he's Laura's brother, who is Ace's grandma. And remember, he even stopped by Laura's place last week to deliver a present to baby Ace. And this is not the first time Cyrus has come by to see the kiddo. He dropped in while Laura Spencer was out of town right after he got out of Pentonville, if I'm remembering my order of events correctly. He wanted to meet his great nephew, and Spencer Cassadine did not like it one bit. But of course, Cyrus also watched Spencer's back in prison, so he couldn't say too much. Esme, for her part, at the time that Cyrus came by, she didn't have a lot of frame of reference for him and what kind of bad guy he is. She was an amnesiac at the time, and they were never in each other's orbit. She knows that Spencer doesn't trust him and Laura doesn't like him, and that seems to be the extent of it. Now, though, Esme's memories are back in full force, and that means she's about to start being deceptive, lying, and scheming again. So last we saw her on Friday, Esme was at Windermere up in the tower where Nicholas Cassadine held her captive. Everything came rushing back, and now she has to deal with the future. And she really can't tell anyone that her memories are back, because if she does, DA Scorpio may file charges against her for what she did to Trina and did to Joss and did to Cam with that video. You know, the only reason she wasn't prosecuted before is because she hasn't been mentally competent to stand trial. Now, though, with her memories back, all bets are off if people find out. So Esme cannot tell Laura, she can't tell Spencer, she can't tell her boss Alexis, and heaven forbid Trina or Jocelyn find out. And it's not like Esme has any friends to talk to, she doesn't. But this week, Esme heads to the prison to see her biological mother, Heather Weber. And I bet her mom, the hook killer, is going to be excited that her daughter's memories are back. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Heather told Esme to get revenge on everyone. I mean, Heather is unhinged, and so is Esme's dead biological father, Ryan Chamberlain. Her gene pool is so tainted. Between that and the Cassadines, you have to worry about baby Ace and who he might turn out to be, really. But soon, Esme's going to have to decide if she's going to keep on playing reformed single mom amnesiac and pretend her memories are still gone, or she could keep on hiding her memories while going dark and plotting revenge on people like Trina and Ava. Speaking of revenge, now let's talk about Cyrus Renault. He's got this twisted interest in Ace, and if he finds out Esme is back to her old evil self, he might be really interested in her as well as her child. Cyrus has this acute sense of vengeance, and he likes to torment people, and that's a lot the same way that Esme used to be. And Cyrus is also very good at reading people and figuring things out. I could totally see him deducing that Esme's memories are back and approaching her. However, I don't think Cyrus would approach her to out her. I think he might offer to keep her secret and even to help her. Can you imagine what a match made in hell Cyrus and Esme would be if they were working together? I will say this real clearly. I don't see this as a romantic pairing. I don't see them hooking up because that would be uber creepy given their almost 50-year age gap. He is 70 and she's like 22, I think. But I definitely could see them plotting and scheming together. He could be like a surrogate psycho dad since her psycho dad is dead. And I also could see Cyrus being all in because it would give him a chance to be in baby Ace's life. Of course, it would horrify Laura Spencer if she found out her older brother is hanging out with her grandson and his single mom. She might even assume Cyrus has some sick fixation on Esme. But I do think Cyrus could explain it away as just being interested in Ace because he's a little kid and because he's family and Cyrus never had kids of his own. So remember when Esme was conspiring with Spencer to torment Ava, Esme went way overboard and freaked Spencer out. He hated Ava, but he thought that Esme went way over the line. This stuff with burning up her car and leaving Kiki's hospital ID there. However, Cyrus has a much higher tolerance for dastardly deeds than Spencer does. And so if you remember when Esme was plotting without Spencer, she was so much worse than when they were working together. So in terms of villainy, Cyrus is a much better ally for Esme than anybody else that I can imagine. With her awful mom in prison, you know, Cyrus might be the best person to work with Esme. And in fact, you know, I think of anybody in Port Charles, he is probably the only person that she could turn to and expect some level of understanding and sympathy and protection in a way. So I cannot think of one other person who would cover for her if they found out her amnesia was gone. Everyone in town either hates Esme or dislikes and mistrusts her intensely. I cannot think of one person who likes her except her kid. So with her mom locked away, Cyrus may be the only one who would accept her as is. Bad memories back, awful history, everything. He certainly can't judge her, but can you imagine how Spencer would react if Esme started hanging out with Cyrus or Laura or anybody else? Because everybody also hates Cyrus and mistrusts him. So they might need to keep their friendship secret if it does manifest. We'll see how it works out. There are no spoilers right now for Esme and Cyrus spending time together or having conversations, but there are spoilers for both of them. So for this week, the official GH spoilers say Esme is almost caught at Windermere because Ava gets an alert that there's an alarm going off, and then Dante and Laura go out. And then Esme later in the week goes to prison to see her mom, Heather. Spoilers for the following week, the week of January 1st through 5th, say Esme decides where to go from here. Meanwhile, on Tuesday the 26th, Cyrus tricks Nina into confessing her SEC deeds to him. And then later in the week, he confronts her and lets her know that she spilled the beans to him and not the priest. And I expect that that revelation is going to come with an ultimatum. We'll see. There is little doubt to me that Cyrus and Esme are going to keep running into each other because they share family in common, and he seems really keen on getting to know her son, Ace. So, I mean, who knows where this could go, but I definitely think it would be very soapy if Cyrus and Esme struck up this villainous friendship and started scheming together to make those that they hate pay. And Esme might really admire the fact that he held Trina hostage at gunpoint a while back. Remember that? Because Portia's still mad about it. And Esme really hates Trina. And that's one of the things on the Tuesday episode that hits her. In the promo, you could see her saying, all you ever cared about was her, something like that. She's talking about Spencer and Trina. And I think, you know, with her memories back, all that hatred for Trina is going to come rushing back in. All right, that's everything. Please click subscribe if you haven't already and come back soon. Let me know what you think about Cyrus and Esme working together. Do you think that would be soapy, messy fun? Drop your comments and be sure to come back soon because we are here talking General Hospital every day. And this has been Belinda from Soap Dirt. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.